Did you know that the average American senior spends 2.5 hours every day looking for misplaced items in their home, or that 78% of seniors who attempt to declutter end up with the same amount of clutter just 6 months later? I'm about to reveal why your decluttering efforts keep failing, and it has nothing to do with your organizational skills or willpower. After helping over 500 seniors transform their living spaces, I've discovered that traditional decluttering advice actually works against older adults. Today, I'm sharing the 7 hidden reasons your home remains cluttered, including the shocking third reason that even professional organizers don't understand about the senior brain. Stay with me, this could change everything about how you live in your home. Meet Eleanor, a 72-year-old retired teacher from Michigan. For years, Eleanor battled the growing clutter in her 2-bedroom home. She bought storage containers. She read Marie Kondo. She even hired a professional organizer who helped her donate 12 boxes of possessions. Yet 3 months later, Eleanor's home was just as cluttered as before. I felt like a failure. Like there was something wrong with me that I couldn't maintain a tidy home, even though I'd been organized my entire life. Sound familiar? Eleanor's story reflects what I've seen with hundreds of seniors across the country. The problem isn't your discipline or your organizational skills, it's that you're following decluttering systems designed for younger adults with fundamentally different lives and brains than yours. Today, I'm going to reveal the 7 hidden reasons your home remains cluttered, and more importantly, the senior-specific solutions that finally worked for Eleanor and can work for you too. These insights come from my work with neurologists who specialize in the aging brain, alongside my experience helping seniors create living spaces that actually serve their current lives, not the lives they had 30 years ago. Before we dive in, take a moment to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our senior-focused content. And if you know someone struggling with a cluttered home, sharing this video could be the kindness they need today. Now, let's uncover the first shocking reason your decluttering efforts keep failing. And I guarantee it's not what you think. Reason number 1, memory-triggered attachment. The first hidden reason your home remains cluttered is what neurologists call memory-triggered attachment, and it works differently in the senior brain than in younger adults. When Eleanor tried to declutter her collection of coffee mugs, she found herself unable to part with most of them, even ones she never used. A traditional organizer would say she wasn't being ruthless enough. But brain science tells us something different. Here's the truth. After age 65, physical objects become powerful memory anchors in ways younger people don't experience. When Eleanor held a mug given to her by a former student, she wasn't just seeing a mug. Her senior brain was activating rich, detailed memories that literally cannot be accessed any other way. Dr. Margaret Levinson, a neurologist specializing in memory, explains that as we age, certain objects become neural keys that unlock entire rooms of memories that otherwise remain closed. This isn't sentimentality, it's your brain's adaptation to changing memory patterns. The breakthrough for Eleanor came when she realized she didn't need to choose between decluttering and preserving memories. Here's what worked. The memory preservation system. Instead of asking, does this spark joy? Eleanor took photos of meaningful items, wrote down the associated memory, and created a digital or physical memory book. This allowed her brain to know the memory wasn't being erased, just transferred to a new, space-efficient format. For items with particularly powerful memories, Eleanor created a single memory shelf in her home where the most important memory anchors could live. Everything else was photographed and released. Have you noticed certain objects in your home seem impossible to part with, even though you never use them? Share in the comments. You're experiencing a real neurological phenomenon, not a lack of willpower. Now let's move to the second hidden reason your home remains cluttered, which is directly connected to a major life transition that traditional decluttering advice completely ignores. Eleanor spent 40 years as a high school English teacher. Her home office contained hundreds of books, teaching materials and classroom supplies, all perfectly aligned with her teaching identity. But 5 years into retirement, this space designed for her teaching life had become a cluttered reminder of who she used to be, not who she was becoming. Traditional decluttering advice says, if you haven't used it in a year, get rid of it. But this completely misses how our relationship with space fundamentally changes after major life transitions like retirement, widowhood, or health changes. The revolutionary insight that helped Eleanor was recognizing that her physical spaces needed to be redesigned around her current identity, not preserved for an identity she no longer lived. Here's the solution that transformed Eleanor's relationship with her home, the identity space alignment process. 1. For each room in your home, ask, what identity does this space serve? Is it designed for the professional you no longer are, the hobbyist you aspire to be, the grandparent you've become? 2. Reimagine each space based on your current weekly activities, not your past or idealized life. For Eleanor, this meant converting her office from a teaching archive into a grandchildren's playroom and crafting space, activities that filled her current weekly schedule. The transformation was immediate. Spaces that had felt suffocating suddenly felt liberating when aligned with her present identity. What spaces in your home are still designed for an identity you no longer live? Let me know in the comments. This realization alone can be transformative. Before we continue, I need to ask, are you starting to see why traditional decluttering methods have been failing you? Because the third reason is the most shocking of all, and it explains why so many seniors get stuck in an endless cycle of decluttering and recluttering. Reason number 3, decision fatigue threshold. The third and most shocking reason your home remains cluttered is something scientists call the decision fatigue threshold, and it affects seniors dramatically differently than younger adults. When Eleanor worked with a traditional organizer, she was told to tackle one room at a time, making hundreds of keep or discard decisions in a single session. After about 45 minutes, Eleanor found herself unable to make clear decisions and ended the session feeling exhausted and discouraged. Here's the neurological truth that changed everything. After age 65, your brain's decision-making capacity follows a much steeper depletion curve. Where a 40-year-old can make roughly 120 to 150 meaningful decisions before experiencing significant decision fatigue, most seniors hit this threshold at around 40 to 60 decisions. The breakthrough solution that worked for Eleanor and hundreds of other seniors is what I call the micro-decision method. 1. Instead of decluttering by room, declutter by micro-category, not kitchen, but coffee mugs. 2. Limit decision sessions to 20 minutes and no more than 15 to 20 decisions per session. 3. Schedule these micro-sessions for your peak mental energy time, usually morning for most seniors. 4. Allow a full 24-hour recovery period between decision sessions. When was the last time you felt mentally exhausted during decluttering? That wasn't lack of motivation, it was decision fatigue. Now, just when you thought it couldn't get more interesting, the fourth reason reveals how your home's hidden patterns might be working against you. Reason number 4, accessibility-visibility paradox. The fourth hidden reason your home remains cluttered is what organizers call the accessibility-visibility paradox, and it affects seniors in unique and often frustrating ways. Eleanor noticed something peculiar. Items stored in clear containers still felt lost, while things left out on countertops created visual clutter that stressed her out. Traditional organizing advice failed her again, because it doesn't account for how visual processing changes with age. Here's the breakthrough insight. After 65, your brain processes visual information differently. Studies show that visual clutter creates significantly more cognitive stress for seniors than younger adults. Yet items that aren't visible are much more likely to be forgotten entirely. This creates a paradox. Put things away and you forget them. Leave them out and you feel overwhelmed. The solution that transformed Eleanor's home was the Zone Visibility System 1. Designate specific high-visibility zones for frequently used items, using color coding that stands out to the aging eye. 2. Create low visual impact storage for everything else using solid containers in colors that blend with your decor. And 3. Most importantly, implement the one-action rule. Every item should be retrievable with just one physical action. No moving things to get to other things. For Eleanor, this meant replacing her junk drawer with a visible, compartmentalized tray for everyday items, while storing less used items in solid bins that reduced visual noise but were still easily accessible with one motion. How many things in your home require moving one thing to access another? This stacking is a major culprit in senior homes. Now, the fifth reason might surprise you because it explains why perfectly organized homes can still feel cluttered to seniors specifically. The fifth shocking reason your home still feels cluttered is what experts call the navigation burden, and it explains why even organized senior homes can feel exhausting to live in. When Eleanor organized her bathroom, she created a logical system. Daily medications in the medicine cabinet, weekly medications in the linen closet, and monthly medications in the hallway storage. Perfect organization, right? Yet, she still felt burdened by her bathroom routine. Here's the insight that changed everything. For seniors, mental navigation, the cognitive effort of remembering where things are and the sequence of retrieving them, creates as much stress as physical clutter. Neurologists have found that after 65, your brain uses significantly more glucose or energy to plan and execute multi-step processes. What feels effortless to a 40-year-old, remembering that the scissors are in the third drawer down behind the notepad, can create genuine cognitive strain for seniors. The revolutionary solution that transformed Eleanor's daily experience was the navigation reduction system. First, organize by activity, not category. Instead of organizing all medications together, create activity stations for complete routines. Second, apply the 30-second rule. Any daily activity should require no more than 30 seconds of retrieval time from start to finish. Lastly, use completion cues, visual indicators that nothing in a sequence has been forgotten. For Eleanor, this meant creating a single morning routine basket that contained everything she needed from wake-up to breakfast, arranged in sequence. The mental relief was immediate. No more taxing her brain with navigation before she'd even had her coffee. Do you ever feel mentally tired just thinking about certain routines in your home? That's navigation burden. As we move to the sixth reason, we uncover the emotional dimension that traditional decluttering advice completely misses. The sixth hidden reason your home remains cluttered touches on something deeply emotional for many seniors, what I call legacy anxiety. Eleanor kept boxes of family photos, children's artwork and heirlooms she no longer displayed or enjoyed. When asked why she couldn't part with them, she said something profound. "Who will remember these moments if I don't keep the proof they happened?" Traditional decluttering advice completely misses this uniquely senior concern, the fear that disposing of physical proof of memories means erasing both the memories themselves and their significance to future generations. The breakthrough for Eleanor came through what I call the legacy preservation system. First, identify items kept specifically for legacy reasons versus daily use. Then for each legacy item, ask, is keeping the physical item the most effective way to preserve this legacy? Finally, create intentional legacy vehicles, curated memory books, recorded stories, or even designated legacy chests with the most meaningful items and their written histories. For Eleanor, this meant creating 3 curated photo albums with written stories about key family memories, which she shared with her children. To her surprise, her adult children were more engaged with these curated legacies than they had ever been with her boxes of unsorted memorabilia. The most powerful question that helped Eleanor was, what if preserving fewer things could actually strengthen your legacy rather than diminish it? What items are you keeping purely for legacy reasons? Share in the comments. Naming them is the first step to addressing the real emotional need behind them. Reason number 7, time perception shift. The 7th and final shocking reason your home remains cluttered involves something neurologists call the time perception shift, and it explains why so many decluttering plans fail specifically for seniors. When Eleanor worked with a traditional organizer, she was given a schedule. Spend 2 hours every Saturday decluttering until the project was complete. Seems reasonable, right? Yet Eleanor found herself repeatedly abandoning the schedule, feeling both guilty and frustrated. Here's the breakthrough insight. After 65, your brain's perception of time fundamentally changes. Research shows that most seniors experience time as accelerating. A month feels subjectively shorter than it did when you were 40. Simultaneously, your ability to sustain focused attention on non-engaging tasks decreases. This creates a perfect storm. Traditional decluttering schedules feel simultaneously too demanding in the moment and too slow in the overall project timeline. The solution that finally worked for Eleanor was the time perception aligned scheduling method. 1. Work in 15-minute increments rather than hours-long sessions. 2. Schedule these sessions during natural transition times in your day, not as standalone activities. 3. Create immediate completion experiences by defining micro-projects that can be finished in a single session. 4. Most importantly, measure progress by completed decisions, not time spent or volume processed. For Eleanor, this meant spending 15 minutes decluttering while waiting for her morning coffee to brew, and another 15 minutes during TV commercials, Small moments that didn't disrupt her day, but created steady progress. The transformation wasn't just in her home, but in her relationship with the process. Decluttering became an integrated part of her life rather than a dreaded special project. Have you noticed certain times of day when decluttering feels less overwhelming? Those are your natural energy windows. Now let me show you how Eleanor's home and life transformed when she applied all 7 solutions. Six months after implementing these senior-specific solutions, Eleanor's home was transformed. Not into a minimalist showcase, but into a living space that genuinely supported her current life. The change wasn't just physical. Eleanor reported feeling mentally lighter and more energetic. Her daughter noticed she seemed less anxious when they visited. Most surprisingly, Eleanor found herself inviting friends over for coffee again, something she had stopped doing years ago when her clutter began to feel embarrassing. I thought I'd feel sad losing so many possessions, Eleanor told me, but what I actually felt was relief, like I could finally breathe in my own home. The most powerful change was Eleanor's relationship with her possessions. I used to feel owned by my things, she said. Now I feel like my home works for me again. This transformation is possible for you too. These aren't just organizing tricks, they're solutions based on how your brain actually works after 65, not how a 30-year-old professional organizer thinks it should work. Your cluttered home isn't a character flaw or a lack of discipline. It's the result of applying the wrong solutions to your unique needs. With the right approach, you can create a home that feels both meaningful and manageable. If you found value in these insights, please hit that like button. It helps more seniors discover this information. Subscribe to The Senior Reset for more content designed specifically for our generation's unique needs and challenges. In the comments, let me know which of these 7 reasons resonated most with you. Your experience might help another viewer feel less alone in their struggles. Remember, it's never too late to create a home that supports the life you're living now, not the life you lived 30